Wireless charging failed drastically, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, wireless charging was meant to be the future. It was so cool. Everyone was loving it. Everyone was loving it. You could, put your phone on a pad and it would just magically charge. But that's changed very, very quickly when people started to realise that, it wasn't actually that practical. It wasn't as good as it was being made out to be. And it was actually very, very bad for your phone. Now, you may be asking what I mean by bad for your phone. Now, where your phone is, on a pad of electricity, it is naturally going to heat up because electricity makes heat. And where the phone was heating up on the pad over time, it was actually wearing out the battery, because if lithium ion batteries get hot, they degrade and they lose performance over time. Now, obviously, this isn't the same for something like MagSafe, because MagSafe can magnetically attach the phone to the charger and it can wirelessly charge in a specific spot. Obviously, it still gets hot and it's still not fantastic for your battery, but instead of it, being all over the phone, it's just in one specific area, which is better for the phone overall. Now, obviously, there is Qi 2 charging, which is better, but not a lot of companies are accommodating at the moment, which I don't understand why. MagSafe is such an amazing idea because it focuses all the great things about wireless charging, being able to leave it on the pad, let it charge, and not have to worry about it. Even easier because the magnets would line it up for you. You wouldn't have to worry that your phone had slipped off the pad overnight and was just not charging. Because for me, when I wirelessly charge my phone, I get really anxious that it's not actually charging, because I genuinely think that sometimes if I leave it and I know it's charging, I'm going to wake up in the morning and it's going to somehow vibrated off or moved, or it's not going to be in the same spot and it's not going to charge as well. And wireless charging takes so much longer than wired charging. I can charge my phone at 20 watts and it charges relatively quick. Put it on a wireless charging pad, what was originally going to be a 5-minute charge to 25% from 0 is going to be a 4-hour charge from 0 to 25, which is absolutely crazy. It's just one of those things that I think people thought was cool and there was a massive cool factor around at the time, but when they actually happened, it kind of wasn't executed that well, and I think that's kind of what ruined it. This isn't to say that wireless charging is a complete fail. If we look at something like Oppo and OnePlus, they're doing an absolute craziness with all of their, wireless charging and the warp charging and the crazy speeds. But, a lot of these chargers are heating up so insanely that I think over time these batteries are just going to eventually give up and aren't going to be as good as they once were. Now, does this mean that you shouldn't get a wireless charger and you should use it? No. I think wireless chargers are more for devices like AirPods. I use my wireless charger for my AirPods all the time because you can literally just plop the AirPods down, not have to worry about them, and you're sorted. Whereas, plugging AirPods in with a wire is sort of less convenient. But I do think that wireless chargers could work if they were just implemented correctly. They had better charging speeds. They brought in the Qi 2 charge network. And they also just didn't heat up as much. And I know that's very difficult to prevent. And that's a lot of the reason why AirPower didn't work. Is because Apple were trying to, put loads of coils of electricity on this one pad. And it was just physically impossible because it would get too hot. Now, this is obviously with future technology going to be preventable. But at the moment, with the current technology we've got, with lithium ion being so, difficult with the bottlenecks we have with that, with it not being able to get too hot, with it not being able to charge too quick, we kind of have to work around that at the moment. But I think eventually once the technology gets better, wireless charging will be the future, because having wires is a bit inconvenient, whereas having one wire for a wireless charger, plop it down, charge up your phone, take it off, it's great. Now obviously for some people with a lifestyle where they're at home all the time, they can just leave the charger on the wireless charging pad and it's way easier. But for a lot of people that charge their phone overnight, they cannot rely on a wireless charge. They can't rely that in the morning they're going to wake up, the phone's going to be fully charged. Whereas with a wire, when you plug it in, you hear that click, you know that it's going to charge unless there's a power cut. That's the only time it would not charge, or if your wire's dodgy. I think that's why a lot of people shy away from wireless chargers, because everyone's had that one experience with the wireless charger where they take it off and they wake up in the morning, they're like, oh no, I've got 20% left on my phone. No one wants to be in that scenario, and I think that's why wireless chargers failed. Now, if you use a wireless charger, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you use a wireless charger in your day-to-day life and if you think it's worth it. But comment down below, tell me, and just, I will be reading the comments. I'll make sure that I can reply, and I'll make sure to just take in what everyone's saying and what their opinions are, because I personally only use a wireless charger if I really have to, just because of how terrible they are. But I do think if you use a wireless charger, eventually you'll have a day. I think if you use a wireless charger, you've had a day where you've woken up and you've realised that your phone isn't actually charging and you've woken up scared. Please comment down below and tell me that, because I genuinely think that's a scenario that's happened to people that use wireless chargers. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, I know it was only a short one, but please make sure to like and subscribe. It's been Harry. I'm out. Peace.